Right. Should be good to go.
Suppose the county will get mad if we do 14 seconds early.
No, you're at 7:30.
Okay, I'm looking. Let's call this meeting to order. Let the record show that present are board members Sue Drexler, Tom Verhagen, Tom Truschel, and staff. Mr. LaFabe. First order on the agenda is approval of minutes.
Motion to approve minutes from March 23rd and April 20th.
Discussion on the approval. Oh, we need a second.
I'll second.
Discussion on approval of the minutes from March 23rd and April 20th, both viewings in 2023. Hearing none, all those in favor of approval signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Those minutes are approved. I'll let the record show that a quorum of members that were present at those meetings are not present today. And so they will be moved to the next available deliberative without objection.
Yep.
Seeing no objection, that's so ordered. The next item on the agenda
Do
is
we
the,
need to say which minutes those are that are being moved?
all right, for the record, they are the minutes from March 1st, public hearing, March 9th, deliberative. And March 28th, public hearing for all from 2023. Thank you, Sue. So the next item on the agenda is the variance from Mike Lemerick. 6702 Sunset Trail, town of Winnebago. Thoughts?
Yeah, this is.
Personally, I've been struggling with whether he has fair use. We had something similar way up, it might have been Mallard Lane or in that area anyway, when it went up the long road along the channel. And the guy wanted to do an extension, this time for a tool shed. And he had a boathouse on the other side, and I think that was the biggest reason why we denied that one. But we're not supposed to do precedences. So I'm just throwing that out there as a thought. But here, there is nothing across the road.
Yeah, I don't see the similarity to the two. One was an extension on his garage. Was he gonna extend the garage or no, a whole building? No, he was gonna extend the garage into this,
Sideways parallel to the
into
road.
his second lot that he had purchased.
My thought on this, is that it's always been a lot of record. It goes way back and it's been zoned R1
It's zoned R2.
or R2 residential.
Yeah.
And there's never been a house on it. I would say that. That's, the use of that lot is to have a house on it. So whether or not, my question is whether the footprint that he's already using is substantial enough for a house to be able to put a house on that footprint. Now, what do they call it? 752 square feet?
He's
Well, that's-
adding 6 inches to the cell.
Right. Right.
And a second story.
And a second story, yeah.
So going up, I got, it could be 2,100 square feet
Right,
total.
but I think though by not allowing the new footprint, you're forcing them to go. I mean, 752 square foot house is pretty small. I mean, that's a small house. So you're forcing them to go up
Mhm,
rather than building a one-story retirement type of house.
right, which is allowed.
Which is it? I don't.
It's allowed to go up
Oh, yeah.
on the
it's-
same foot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's allowed.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's allowed.
And the current footprint is 35 feet. from the shore yard. Correct? Because we were talking about where he's
It's-
proposing
yeah.
35 feet, but the current structure is 35 feet away.
Yeah, yeah, it's a
So-
touch over actually, 35 feet.
Yeah,
Okay. so-
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he's pushing, yeah,
And the street yard, 10 feet, that is,
no, I mean, not, and obviously that'll be probably the, well, I don't know that. Well, I guess that's not. For this committee, whether that's the front of the house or the back, I'm guessing most of their living will be done on the water side.
right, and
And-
this will be the garage
Yeah.
side. So he's basically moving a garage back.
Right,
And on the whole, the neighbors were okay with it. Just the one that wanted to buy the property wasn't so happy.
yeah. So
I'm
he's,
sorry, Tom,
no, not at all.
This time.
All the discussion is good. I'm just
You mentioned,
clarifying in my head exactly where he wants the variance from is. From Indian Shore Road, obviously that would need the variance, and from the shore yard. That's the only two,
yeah,
right?
the only two, yeah.
And he's already got. Encroached on those setbacks right now
Yep,
with
he's
what he's got, right,
Non-conforming right now, yeah.
right.
Mhm.
So the extension towards that other road isn't really. The issue, it's the other two roads other than. He'll continue to encroach upon both. Indian Shore and. Shore Yard,
Right, and even though we don't look into impervious surfaces, there is already impervious surface there, so
Right.
it's not
Yeah.
adding to that either, so.
now I would I don't know that you've got to expand that footprint to go closer to. Indian Shore Road.
The 6
Or
inches.
or by whatever, or the shore yard,
I think the main reason he's asking for that is for the new garage that they're adding. Because they're expanding outside that existing footprint, and that garage is going with the existing non-conforming setback to the west.
mhm.
The only thing on here that's, they're saying existing house. It is not an
Right.
existing house, and
That's a garage. Yeah.
yeah, and someone pointed out that it had always just been used for storage.
Mhm.
And had never really been used for residence, but it is R2. So it always could have.
Yeah.
Had the potential to do that, so. I see no reason why. They can't do this.
With the footprint they're proposing,
With what, I mean, 6 inches is nothing.
I agree. It
Yeah, I
isn't.
mean, that's like splitting hairs, and if they absolutely need that 6 inches. Okay. It's like. Not like they're asking for,
Right,
3 feet, or that it's gonna make really any difference.
one might think that the extra 6 inches is needed because of the size of the prefab rafters.
Right, or maybe, yeah,
I mean,
something,
that, I guess that makes sense. Hmm,
if that's all it is, I have to be able to read this correctly to determine. If that's all that's going on, and sounds like. It is.
So the motion might be in order at this point.
Yes, motion to approve.
Is that with conditions or not?
Yes, that is with the conditions, the county conditions of all applicable sanitary zoning and erosion control permits, submitted to the county before construction begins.
And
Did you say and?
yeah, there's three.
I only have that on this one. Am I looking at the wrong place? Do you have the Limerick one? You have the Marsh one.
Sorry.
Okay, I had to sort my stuff out here too. That's the only condition I see there are the Tom
Where-
forsaken.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Got it,
Okay,
got it,
do
got it, got it.
you
I will
think any
second.
additional conditions?
No, I don't. I'll second that.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the Mike Lemerick variance with the single county condition that all applicable sanitary zoning and erosion control permits shall be submitted to the county before construction begins. Discussion.
No.
If we're ready for the vote. Roll call, Sue Drexler.
I. Do
Tom
we have to do
Verstegen.
the advice?
We'll
No,
read this.
I,
Aye.
And Tom Tuschel, aye. Now, would you read the findings, please, Sue?
criteria and advisory findings, chapter 23.7 234, basis of decision. Chapter 23, town county zoning code, chapter 26, floodplain zoning code, and chapter 27, shoreline zoning code. Criteria 1, the requirement in question would unreasonably prevent the property owner from using the property for a permitted purpose or would render conformity with such requirement unnecessarily burdensome, and such circumstances were not self-created. There is no compliant location to build a reasonable single-family dwelling that will meet shoreline yard and setback requirements. Criteria 2, the subject property has unique physical characteristics or limitations that prevent the property from being developed in compliance with the requirement in questions. The applicant's property has shore yard and street yard setbacks which cover the entire property. Criteria 3, the granting of the variance will not be contrary to or harm the public interest, giving the general purposes of the zoning regulations and the specific purposes of the requirement in question. The proposed single-family dwelling is similar to the existing pattern of development in the surrounding area, so public interest will not be harmed. Chapter 27.6-8A. Required for all chapter 27 shoreland zoning code variances, criteria 1. The variance is consistent with the purpose of the shoreland zoning code, because the request allows reasonable use of the property and is similar to neighboring development. Based upon the findings, it is the opinion of the board that all criteria of Article 7, Division 12, Section 23.7-234 Town County Zoning Code have been met. We do require the conditions of the all applicable sanitary zoning and erosion control permits shall be submitted to the county before construction begins.
Well done. And that passed with a vote of 3-0. Does anyone see anything else that needs to be done with that item?
I do not.
Then let's move on to Stephen and Christina March. 7579 Mallard Lane, Town of Wolf River. They also were requiring a variance on the property. Thoughts on that one?
That one's a little stickier, but it's also what's
I don't think
going
it-
on.
the only
in that
problem with me with
neighborhood.
this is when you look at that neighborhood, everyone out there needs a variance
Yeah,
to do something,
yeah,
especially this now. And whatever we do, and I don't know that this is the best way if everybody did that same thing, if that would be the right look for the neighborhood, or if that's something we should be thinking outside the box of what they're trying to do there. Even though I can see for, if it was just this one property, that's not a bad solution.
I think that ship has sailed, unfortunately.
Yeah, you're probably
Because if
right.
you look at that house, 2, 3 doors down, the huge thing that to me, it did not look like was draining property. You know,
Yeah,
but
okay.
you know,
You're right.
I think that's more a county
Yeah, I
county
just want to
deal.
remind
Where
the
you
board,
have to be out there making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be
Yeah.
doing.
I just want to remind the board that we're only looking at this property.
Right.
And that the state doesn't want anything else to come into contact.
Including precedent, knowing that something else would come to this board if it
That's a
ever comes up. I mean,
fine- fine
that's an
line.
argument probably
Yeah.
for somewhere else, but
Yeah.
Fine line, I
I,
think.
oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
point well taken.
just to make sure we're on the same page.
Sure.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think
Yeah.
that ship has sailed.
Yeah.
We have approved so many things out there that at this point you can't, you know. say,
Yeah, you can't design the neighborhood for
No,
them in
no,
this
that's
committee.
not our.
Right, I understand that,
That's, then this whole condo thing is,
right. Right,
oh, you scared me.
I didn't.
you're a scary guy, you're a scary guy, let's just leave it at that.
If there's
This
any,
was a private meeting.
if there's any property that I've viewed over the few years I've been here, this is the one that most needs doing something to.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
and they have a plan.
Um. What if they were proposing to block it in? I mean, because we were not even talking about how they're doing it, it's just that they can do it like that.
I think we all felt a sigh of relief when we heard that it was gonna be this.
Ford, I
the-
agree,
The cement, the poured cement.
and I'm just
That was-
wondering if that could be or should be a condition if we do approve it, that it
Yes,
is poured,
yes,
right?
because I don't think that was, let's see.
I
is that
agree,
what
that's,
this-
that's kind of what I was thinking.
Looks like we all had the same thought
Yeah,
before that.
so how best would we list that condition?
Well,
A
We do it with
requirement
the
of a
county condition.
concrete retaining wall, 1 foot around addition. Around 3 sides of the addition,
I'd have to say poured concrete because
poured concrete,
block is concrete.
okay, all right.
And
Poured concrete retaining wall, 1 foot around 3 sides of the addition with drainage towards water. Or are we being
Well,
too?
wait.
Hmm.
No, I think that's. Let's see.
Or a 1 foot poured concrete retaining wall around 3 sides of the addition draining toward the water.
Does
That sound reasonable?
Oh, it does. I'm just wondering if. We would have to specify which way the drainage has to go there.
I had put in drainage towards the water. Are you
You're right.
saying, no, we shouldn't put that in there? Or because it could go toward a swale or?
Well,
I
that's kind of
think
what
that
I'm
might be
thinking.
a overreach, maybe.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking too,
Yeah.
that it may be, in that we just
Yeah.
say that it's gotta comply with.
The erosion.
And that's
Control,
already
yeah,
a
yeah.
condition, so we're just saying a 1 foot poured concrete retaining wall around 3 sides of the addition. Got it?
Besides, anything else?
Well, the other ones are listed, so.
Yeah. Right, well, I'll make a motion then that that we approve the variance request with the condition that the retaining, that the wall be 1 foot poured retaining wall around 3 sides of the addition.
In addition to the other,
In addition, right, in addition to the other county condition.
I'll
Good.
second that.
Okay, it's been properly moved and second to approve the variance request from Stephen and Christina Marsh, 7579 Mallard Lane, Town of Wolf River, with 4 county conditions. All applicable sanitary zoning and erosion control permits shall be submitted to the county before construction begins. All construction shall meet the floodplain requirements stated in chapter 26 floodplain zoning code. The existing outhouse privy shall be removed prior to construction of the addition, and 1 foot poured concrete will surround the 3 sides of the addition. Discussion.
And they're proposed, and does that cover what they're proposed? Side yard 4.9. They show 1 feet. Does that cover the?
That was your motion.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was. Yeah, okay, I'm good.
I'm just wondering, you said 4 county conditions. I don't know if we have to specify that. There are 3 county condition and 1 board condition. I don't know.
That's-
We're-
we're the
we're the
Yeah,
county.
you're the
Okay.
county, so you would be, yeah, you're good.
Okay, thank you.
Further discussion. Okay, roll call vote. Sue, Justin,
Aye.
Tom Verhagen,
Aye.
Tom Tushel, aye. Tom, would you read the findings, please?
Criteria's for findings, criteria for approval, chapter 23.7 through 234, basis of our decision. The requirement in question would unreasonably prevent the property owner from using the property for a permitted purpose or would render conformity with such requirement unnecessarily burdensome. And such circumstances were not self-created. The applicants do not have reasonable use of the property as livable area in the consisting dwelling was not built to allow for general sanitary facilities. 2, the subject property has unique physical characteristics or limitations that prevent the property from being developed in compliance with the requirement in question. The applicant's property has shore yard, street yard, side yard, and floodplain fill setback requirements, which cover most of the available area of the buildable area of the property. The granting of the variance will not be contrary to or harm the public interest, given the general purposes of the zoning regulations and the specific purposes of the requirement in question. The proposed addition is similar to the existing pattern of development in the surrounding area, so public interest will not be harmed. Chapter 26.6 through 7. The variance is consistent with the purpose of the floodplain zoning code. The request still allows for practical floodplain fill around the perimeter of the structure, which does not increase drainage issues for the neighboring properties. Based upon the above findings, it is the opinion of the board that all criteria of Article 7, Division 12, Sections 23.7 through 234 have been met.
Good work. This was adopted with a vote of 3-0. Is there anything else that should come up under that particular item?
Do we need to read in the county conditions?
They've been read in as part of the motion.
They weren't ready. I guess we just,
They weren't explicitly read in.
right.
When I
They read
repeated the motion, I read them in.
Yes, you did.
Before we have an adjournment motion, I might want to mention that an email came through this week that said we do not need for anything in this next cycle.
That is correct.
Okay. So motion to adjourn would be appropriate
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
and probably moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor signify aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carried, we are done. Thank you for your work.